Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name's Hannah. I'm marketing manager here at PCS, and I am joined by Rich Mansell, who's one of our senior product specialists for our editorial solution. And on today's webinar, we're going to talk about how publishers can empower and keep their teams happy and keep them motivated. So just for anyone who's not used GoToWebinar before, if you have any questions, there is a question box on the control panel on the right-hand side. You can pop your questions in there, and we will come to those at the end of the webinar. The webinar is being recorded, so we'll be able to share a copy of this with all of you who wish to have the recording and also the slides. So let's have a look at how we empower and motivate our teams. So I think it's quite important to let us understand how we can empower and keep teams happy. If we can look at the state of employment market in the UK. So there have recently been quite a lot of reports, we've probably all seen, about the gig economy and people choosing to have several jobs with flexible hours instead of just one job. And there are also people who are looking for a single employer, but there is a trend for there to be shorter term roles rather than a job for life. And LV Insurance, they carried out some research and they found that on average workers change employer every 5 years. And quite often the reason that's given is because people are looking for new challenges or are looking to grow and diversify their experience. And while there may be some days we all dread Mondays, a report by YouGov actually found that the majority of Brits either love or like their job. So the trick is keeping these employees happy and engaged so they actually don't feel the need to leave. And the cost of not keeping teams happy and having to replace staff has been analysed by HR Review, and they estimate the cost of recruiting, and this includes the cost of recruiters, managers' time for the interviews, cost to hire temporary staff to fill gaps, is actually a massive 30k. So the return on investment in making changes to keep teams happy has a strong business case. But as it also creates a company culture and environment where teams feel valued. So if we look at some of the motivators and ways that we can keep teams happy, what enables people to feel that they're valued. So we have people are always looking for that elusive work-life balance that we hear so much about. And quite often it's having that flexibility so that you can have a happy home life, which means that you're more productive and much happier at work as well. As I mentioned previously, a big motivator for employees to leave is to seek new challenges. So, making the current job challenging and diverse will mean that teams don't feel the need to leave to seek new challenges. And when you feel responsible for your work, you have control over your role, you take ownership, you feel that you are integrated more into the organisation, and you value what you're doing a lot more and you take a lot more care and have a lot more respect for your colleagues as well and what the business is doing as an overall. And who doesn't want to be recognised for their hard work? A thank you reward, financial or not financial, can make a big difference to how someone performs in the future. And specifically for us in the publishing world, a lot of employees are actually very creative, and this creativity needs to be unleashed so they can grow and use their talents. And if you don't know what you're doing and why you're doing something, why would you keep doing it? And when you know how you fit into the bigger picture, you appreciate how important your role is to the overall business. And so you're going to be much more motivated to support that. And we spend most of our time, or our waking lives, at work. So being able to interact with others stops us from turning into robots or zombies. A motivator for people to leave their jobs is to grow and learn from new experiences. And when you collaborate with others, you learn. So this meets that desire to expand our knowledge without actually having to leave where we are. So I'm going to hand over to Rich now, and he can talk to us about how technology is something that can enable us to meet these key motivators and keep our teams happy. So over to you, Rich.
Thank you very much. Okay, so when looking at technology, technology, first of all, in enabling flexibility, well, technology can enable users to work from home or to perform remote working. So that does promote a better work-life balance, but it could also promote you to be more productive when you're back in the office, because obviously happier teams are going to work better. When looking at being able to challenge yourself, you need to be able to look at software that could provide a challenge and enable people to continuously improve themselves. So that could be looking at software that enables people to go and dig deeper into their role and find some extra tasks that they could take. So maybe software that speeds up the tasks they have to do and enable them to find more. When looking at responsibility and control, you need to be able to give people the ownership of their content they're creating. So if somebody's creating content for use in one section, maybe they're able to actually push that content right through and publish it, giving that control right the way down to the users, enables them to feel a lot better about and put themselves in the place where they're publishing that content. Then we look at recognition. So if content creators can see the response that their content is getting, and they can see feedback from the digital content that they're publishing, and they can see how and where it's being used, they can also feel proud of the content they're producing and see the recognition that they're gaining. We also need to give users the ability to be creative. So if we can apply some automation somewhere within software, if we can automate the mundane tasks, then they can have more time to spend on being creative. Being able to see the bigger picture could be as simple as being able to see where your content is used, or it could be able to see the entire publication, see how that publication is coming together, see the positions that your content is being used within. And the other thing is being able to collaborate and working with other teams and departments. This may be as simple as integrated messaging and allowing people to chat quicker and easier, but it could be down to being able to work on the same page at the same time, being able to share content between two people and both being able to make changes to that as and when it's required. So the next slide we're going to look at is some quick wins. So some quick wins that you could have that could improve team motivation. So the first thing might be just simple, free tea and coffee. So some free cakes, and that's just going to improve the general happiness of people within an organization. You could look at improving the work-life balance. So this could be using software to enable people to finish earlier, or maybe enable people to be able to work from home. You need to be able to empower your individuals. So that could be allowing people to do more within their current role, or allowing them to explore the possibilities of the software they use and enable them to enhance their own current role and maybe go and search for something extra they can do. And finally, communication. So this could be as simple as keeping everybody in the loop about a specific team member's successes.
All right, Rich, thank you very, very much. So we've had a couple of questions come in. So we'll have a look at those. So let's have a look. We have, okay, the introduction of technology has made my teams feel threatened, so I haven't pursued it. Any ideas on how I get buy-in?
Okay. Well, I think firstly, change management's probably going to be key. So if people are worried that technology is going to come in, the change management processes you put in place to keep everybody in the loop about why you're putting that technology in or why you want to investigate putting this technology in could help. Key things you can tell users would be maybe that they're going to be saving time. So saving time could be that their mundane tasks they have to do can now be done very quickly, and therefore they get more time to do the fun stuff. So that might be laying out pages that currently takes a long time. If you went to use templates, now you've got more time to spend designing the pages that you want to be doing, more time making your product better, and therefore more pride into your work. It is all about selling the benefits.
Excellent. Okay, we have another one here. So, letting writers put their stuff straight to social media or the website sounds dangerous. Does it work?
Okay. Um, well, you can let people publish content, and you can let people own the content they publish. This is better to be left behind certain roles, restrictions, and privileges. So that way you can allow certain people to publish, people you would trust for that, um, but not everybody. This is a benefit then, because that might inspire other people or mean other people want to challenge themselves to be able to do that. So they might have to go and do a course, so they might want to prove themselves to their employers in order for them to allow them to go to the level of being able to publish content. However, it does specifically or does significantly improve the speed of output of content, and it can improve the amount of content you are getting on that site. So it's a good thing to put in, but you need to be aware that the correct people are doing that.
Okay, so it's something to aim for.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one more at the moment, so if anyone else does have any questions, feel free to put those in, and Rich will be able to answer those. Okay, so final question. If my teams aren't in the office, how do I know they're working?
um, well, I think audits can help you. So if a system would enable the ability to be able to report on user actions, if they were able to see times people logged in and the times they logged out, that is going to benefit people. However, trust is always going to be key in this. So you need to trust that they are going to be doing it. You can have a system will enable you to report on the usage of the system they've done, but you are needing to trust the people that are going to be working from home. However, it does have benefits. So improving that work-life balance, it can mean that you are more productive in the office. So when you're at home and you're working, you may be doing the same as you normally are in the office, but when you're going back to the office, you're happier, you're enjoying your job a lot more, and therefore you are going to be more productive.
Excellent. Well, I suppose people should only employ people that they're going to be able to trust. If you've employed them, you've brought them into your team, it's because they can do the job. So if you have concerns, you probably need a bit more training. So
Yeah.
it shouldn't be that. Okay, fab. Well, that's all the questions we have. That was a lovely, nice, bite-sized webinar. We have now finished our series for now, but we will be starting a new series of webinars in the next couple of months. So keep an eye out on the website. But if you have any questions, feel free to message Rich or I. But as I say, we will distribute copies of the recording of this webinar. So thanks everybody for joining.